When are the questions more important than the answers? Stay tuned. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And I was inspired to a great degree by a gentleman named Lawrence Luars, who gave a TEDx talk. Now, Mr. Luars, from my estimation, is probably, at the time he made the talk, is probably a junior or senior in high school. And since my question is, how can I do more to help my teenage son, my son who is growing towards adolescence and about to enter the real world, how can I do more things to make him better? Simple as that, okay? Well, I want to go over with you Mr. Lawrence Luars, L-E-W-A-R-S. It's a TEDx talk. I strongly recommend you look at it. It's fabulous. I want to go over with you some of the questions that he had. All right, now he starts off by explaining, and I'm going to paraphrase some and quote most of it, but I'm going to do some paraphrasing as well. First of all, he starts off by explaining one day he was sitting at the breakfast table and his dad asked him, what exactly do you see yourself doing 15 years from now? And since the 5th grade, I'm quoting him now, I want to be a lawyer. And my sister burst out laughing uncontrollably. And everybody was looking at her. And finally, when the laughter died down, she said, he's too embarrassed to tell you he wants to be a rapper. Dad asked then, what would you be doing 15 years from now if you could do absolutely anything? Well, I knew what I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be unhappy. I didn't want to be struggling financially. I guess I just wanted to feel a sense of significance. I was struggling because we have all been asked, what do you want to do in the future? But that is different than being completely hypothetically asked, what would you be doing if you could be doing absolutely anything? So I started thinking about my significance. I didn't want anyone else to tell me I was significant. I didn't want my significance to be quantified through bank accounts or Facebook friends or degrees. I just wanted to match my own definition of what it means to be significant and just reach the significance I dream of, because in a world of 7 billion people, it can be kind of hard to make a name for yourself. But I'm not the only one struggling with my dream. Which brings me to the center of my talk. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we live in a world in which it has become the norm for us to accept that one's dream is unobtainable, unreasonable, or unrealistic just because on the basis that people say so. And then Lawrence created a diverse survey for teenagers from different backgrounds and countries in an effort to get some real results and get these questions. He asked the same 2 questions. What do you see yourself doing 15 years from now? Well, 8% of the people didn't know. 78% found themselves choosing one of 3 occupations: doctor, lawyer, or engineer. 78%, 3 jobs. Really, guys? Upon reflection, I remember that since the 5th grade, I had said that I wanted to become a lawyer. Now, I knew nothing about the law, but I always got a positive reaction from people, and I felt good saying it. So why was this number so high with thousands of honorable professions to choose from? Why did people feel that they needed to be one of 3? I believe that it's because of the norms that society has created. We've put emphasis on certain jobs. We, as kids, as young adults, should want these types of jobs for ourselves. Society has put a large emphasis on what kind of jobs we should want for ourselves, and that emphasis is created through the media, through education, and through family. So the second question that I asked was the question that changed my whole mode of thinking. We've already established that 78% of the people felt they need to occupy one of 3 jobs. And what would you think if I stood here today and told you that the majority of them would rather be doing something else? The next question I asked is, what would you be doing 15 years from now if you could do absolutely anything? Now, coincidentally, 78% ended up changing their answer. Now, I want to be clear. It's not the same 78% that felt they needed to occupy one of the 3 popular positions. It's 78% of that original whole group. Now, why is this alarming? First, we live in a society where people feel that they must occupy one of 3 jobs to become successful. Then we established that they would rather be doing something else. From a young age, they're able to differentiate between what they want to do and what they see themselves doing. They're able to come to the decision that this is one thing that I want to do in this world, but this is what I'm going to do. They've decided that, for whatever reason, that the one thing is unobtainable. I'm not surprised that teenagers are like this, because we're meant to act like adults, yet we get treated like children. How do I know that this is a good, representation of how teenagers feel? Because I took a look at the comments made by the teenagers. I want to read to you some of the comments. I just read to you the first one. I'm not surprised that teenagers are like this, because we're meant to act like adults, yet we get treated like children. Now, I've corrected some of the grammar for my own personal sake, but the thought is there. Here's another one. Does anyone else feel like they have a goal that school is just getting in the way of, but you work hard in school anyways, just because you've been taught that you have to do that for whatever reason? Another comment. That made me pause. I honestly thought it was normal to feel like your life had no value. I started feeling like that after I moved into grade 8 and away from one teacher I had who I genuinely loved. I just turned 14 and I had panic attacks because the people around me know what they want to do and I don't even have a clue. Comment from real teenager. Here's another one. I don't think that to say you know what you want is to be fake. There are millions of choices, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to choose. People can also change their minds. I think that the meaning of this TED Talk was more to the purpose of encouraging teens, and people in general, to try to achieve their dreams, whether they change in the process of chasing or not. Personally, I've wanted to be a chef, a sailor, an astronaut, a businessman, an artist, a teacher, and an author. I haven't become any of these things, but each time I was encouraged to chase after my dreams wholeheartedly, which let me learn so many things about cooking, space, physics, business management, and ships. I believe that it's the energy in youth which is being wasted when they settle for a realistic future. They limit themselves both for their future and small gain of knowledge while the passion lasts. That's all I want to say. That's a letter. Now here's the ending of the letter, and this is phenomenal, of the comment. That's all I want to say. If you disagree with me, I'm happy to read and discuss, but please, no hate. What a great comment, all right? I love these questions, and these are questions that we as parents need to be asking our children. Next time we get together, we're going to go over, this is only one small portion of his TED Talk. I want to go over with you some other questions that are essential for parents to ask. And always remember, hey, don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.